BanG Dream Girls Band Party celebrates its 5th year anniversary next year, March 28th. Not only will there be campaigns and attractive prizes in the mobile game, a 5th anniversary intro deck and booster pack will be coming to Weiss Schwarz. More information will be released soon, so keep your eyes on the calendar as the
damn it.
The 5th anniversary.
I've been playing 8-door BanG Dream since the release of Girls Band Party 5th anniversary in JP, and with the announcement of the set coming to English, I figured I should try to make a video to inform what cards you should be looking out for, if you are interested in playing the deck. 8-door is one of the most popular ways of playing BanG Dream, and you can see why in how consistent and customizable it is. There are many routes you can take when building, and I'll try to go over all of them. I also think it's worth mentioning the addition of the intro deck that this set will get. It's a cheaper deck with a ton of value for the price, and getting one of these will let you have a competent deck that you can easily upgrade with some of the cards I will be talking about. First off, let's talk about some level zeros. Most decks will run between 17 to 20 zeros, which is on the higher side. That's mainly because of Kokoro. She's an excellent plus in level 0 and the card you wanna see going first, as she has on attack look at top 2 to choose one to keep on the top and mill the other, but most importantly, when she attacks, she can also mill the top card of your deck, and if it's a level 0 character, you can play it on the backstage. Almost all of the level 0s have effects that can be triggered while already on the field, so you don't miss on any value by playing them through this effect, and that's why she's a common 3 to 4 of in any deck. Moko is another important card. The more you play of her, the better, as she helps with your deck's consistency. When she's sent from the stage to the weighing room, you can put the top card of your stock in clock and search your deck for a level 1 or lower character. The card you search will usually be your level 1 combo or any utility level 0 at your disposal. Her second effect is an alarm that allows you to give one of your characters the ability to send the character they reverse in battle to clock, which is really strong to counter encore effects or play around characters that want to go to the weighing room, so she gets even more value depending on the matchup. Here is where we have our first decision on what to play, between the level 0 Yukina from the intro deck and this Mashiro. Yukina is the most common pick as she has the red color, which is more important for the deck, can get to 4000 power on your turn, and can bounce one of your other characters who is being attacked. She's very good as she can basically deal with any level 0 in terms of power, and the bounce effect doesn't come up often but can be very useful to dodge on reverse combos from your opponent. Meanwhile, Mashiro is 3000 power on your turn and has the clean cut effect. Thanks to it, Mashiro can allow you to be a lot more aggressive, letting you attack with your back row character safely as long as you have a character to reverse with her. They both are great going second options, so experiment with which one you are more comfortable with. To talk about the deck's level 0, we gotta first talk about a level 2 directly tied to it. This is the Misaki package. While not necessary to play, it is very powerful to give your whole board huge power boosts and sees consistent play. The level 2 Misaki has 2 effects, but we only care about the first one for the context of 8-door. If you are level 2 or higher, or if she has a marker below her, you can give all your characters 1000 power times the cards in your level. At level 2, she's a global 2000 power boost, and at level 3 a 3000 power boost. The way you cheat her out early, and why she's usually just a one-off, is thanks to the level 0 Misaki, who gives 500 power to all your characters, and can rest herself to put the level 2 as a marker. Then you can rest her again to change into the marker until the end of the turn. Another reason why you should consider playing the package is that they give you a yellow on board, which is relevant for another card we'll be talking about in a bit. For the Brainstormer, there are mainly 2 options, Aya and Saya, but I would like to first dedicate some more time to Aya and this Maya level 1. When Maya is played, she can look at cards from the top of your deck up to the number of colors on your field, and add a level 1 or higher card and discard one. This is a very powerful effect that gives you extra deck speed and consistency, but requires setup, which is why, as you might have already noticed, we have 3 colors covered just in the level 0s. Misaki was important as a yellow you can have all the time in the backstage, and now Aya covers the green. She gives 500 power to the card in the middle position of the center stage, and is a salvage Brainstormer with the added benefit that if 4 colors were revealed in the Brainstorm cards, you can stock charge 1. If you want the full benefits of Maya consistently, then Aya is a must-have, even though she isn't the greatest as a standalone card, so you can see them as another package. The other Brainstorm option is Saya, who is a bit more outstanding as a brainstormer. Gives 1000 power to a character when you play a climax, allows you to play events without color requirements, which can allow more experimentation, and is also a salvage brainstormer. Saya does the job and has way more utility on her own than Aya, but thanks to the power of Maya she's not as played. Those are the main level zeros that you can play, so we'll quickly go over some of the 1 or 2 ops that can be used to fill the rest of the slots depending on preference. The most common option between these is the Toko. She's a search brainstormer, but she isn't really played because of that. Her other effect is that you can rest her to send herself to stock. This is an easy way to get free stock, since the level 2 and 3 game plan can be very stock intensive. She's also a way to keep your hand size in check without sacrificing advantage, because of all the door triggers and the level 1 combo. Aku is a climax swapper and mainly played for that as a consistency booster. Her second effect swaps a card in your level for another in your waiting room, which can come in clutch since the deck can end up playing 4 colors and things can get messy. Nanami is a drop searcher, so she's a reliable way to get to any character in your deck unlike Moko or Maya, and has another effect in which she While it's relevant in only some matchups, it can be a very strong tech option against decks that have effects that require all their board to be a certain trait. For the final one, there's Hina. When played, she can look at the top card of your deck and keep it there or send it to waiting room, which helps the second effect, which is also on play and allows you to reveal the top card of your deck, add it if it's a character, and discard one. You usually want to use these effects in that order to guarantee the second effect doesn't whiff. Something worth noting is that Ako, Nanami, and Hina only have effects that activate when they are played from hand, so if you hit them with Kokoro, then they are basically vanilla bodies. That's another reason why there are usually just one-ups like Toko, who can be played at bigger quantities. Moving on to level 1s, we already talked about Maya previously, so now we have the first, and possibly only, climax combo of the deck in Yukina from the intro deck. She is 6,500 power during your turn, and her combo is an amazing way to filter your hand while gaining advantage, as when she reverses the opponent in battle, you can discard a card and search your deck for 2 characters. You want to take advantage that Yukina takes out 2 non-climaxes from your deck to compress it, or be more likely to trigger your doors, and gain even more advantage from them. A card that goes alongside Yukina is Rinko, as she allows you to pay 1 and send herself to waiting room to play the Yukina combo from your waiting room, and then that Yukina gains 1000 power times the amount of characters you have. This includes herself, so with a full board you can pull out that Machi and have your level 1 combo reach 11,500 power just on its own. Rinko is generally played at 1 or 2 copies, as you basically want to search her with Yukina as a follow-up for next turn, and she doesn't really do anything without those Yukinas in waiting room already, so lower quantities are recommended. Before moving on to level 2s and 3s, there are 2 directions you can go about the deck from this point on. Playing with a level 3 combo or no combo at all. Playing the Kasumi combo makes you a bit less reliant on stock to get that extra damage, plus you have access to some defensive capabilities. Meanwhile, playing no combo changes your strategy into slamming as many healing early plays as possible to stall, and then use your burn and decompression effects that don't require climaxes to kill your opponent. Both approaches have seen success, and I highly recommend trying both and see which one sticks with you more, since not playing a level 3 combo was weird at first, but it really just works. Okay, with that out of the way, we can go to the level 2s. Aside from the previously mentioned Misaki level 2, your level 2 lineup is a bit flexible. You'll mainly want to run a couple of backups. These are usually the Nanami Memory Kick backup and the Rimi -1 Soul backup. You'll see these 2 in both versions. The Ako level 2 and the Buns for Lock are up to preference, but do see play. Ako becomes 13,000 power when attacking level 3, and can send herself to waiting room to boost one of your other characters being attacked, so she's a great way to beat over your opponent's early plays and defend your own. Meanwhile, Buns for Lock is simply a stock swap for 1 stock, being an incredible decompression tool, so no wonder it's in the restriction list of JP, which we don't have to worry about in English. A card that is exclusively played in the Comboless version thanks to its better color flexibility is Onstage Chisato. It's another backup with the effect that if you have 4 colors on your stage, you can pay 1 and refresh your deck. Refreshing and avoiding the penalty is extremely strong, and she has the extra synergy of being pastel palette traded, so the Mayas and the Ayas can actually allow you to pick her up even though she doesn't have the anniversary trade. Not Yukina though, or any other searcher for that matter. A final level 2 that isn't seen as much but pops up from time to time is this Aya. She's a level 3 assist and can give 2000 to one of your characters when you play an event. She pumps up your early plays and has the extra advantage of the second effect being used defensively in the combo version thanks to level 3 being tied to a counter event. The backstage slots are already pretty stacked, but it's good to keep her in mind. The level 3s you'll see in both versions are Rui and Chisato, as they are the best early plays the deck has access to. Rui is a 2 or less climax early play, gains 500 for each character in your backstage, and on play she discards a card to add a character in your club to your hand. Meanwhile, Chisato is an early play when you have 4 characters on your stage, gets to 11,000 power total on your turn, and on play she can send a character in your club to the bottom of your deck. They are the two most versatile and easy to use early plays available, so it makes sense why they see play in both versions of the deck. Another card worth mentioning is this early play tie. She sees some play in both decks, but mostly the Comboless version. She's an early play when you have 6 or more climaxes in your waiting room, so she's not as easy to use. Stock heals on play, and has an expensive effect to burn 3 on attack. Since the Comboless version doesn't rely on a finisher combo, it sees a lot more value on burning effects. In the combo version, the last level 3 is Kasumi. She is 12,000 power on your turn, on play draws 2, discards 2, and then puts the top card of your deck in stock. This allows you to dig deeper for your climaxes, other copies of Kasumi, or her related event. The combo itself is paid 2 stock at the end of her attack to burn 2, and until the end of your opponent's turn, you don't receive damage from out effects in battles involving Kasumi, which covers a lot of common finishers. So what about withstanding combos? Kasumi won't do anything against those. This counter event allows you to give your Kasumi combos the ability that the character in front of her loses 3 soul, allowing you to survive really tricky scenarios. Of course, to get the most value, you'll have to get to level 3 before your opponent is able to do their finisher, and that's why the early play healers and the Rumi backup help with managing the damage you receive, as you don't want to be too far ahead either. Regardless, burning 2 is still a good number, and it's relatively cheap thanks to Kasumi effectively costing 1 stock to play. Keep in mind that she has to be on the field at the end of the attack to use her effect, so be careful of memory kick backups. Moving on to the Comboless version, another healing early play the deck can use is Sugumi, who is an early play when having 4 or more characters, has 10,000 power, and stock heals on play. Because of the extra slots for not playing the combo, you can feed in more green to make her more consistent. Speaking of green, a very popular option is this lock, that on play discards to look at the top 3 cards of your deck to add something among them, and send another card to stock. And on attack, she pays 3 to stock swap the opponent. As previously discussed, the stock swap is an extremely powerful effect, so having it on a searchable body is very valuable. The final card is this Aya, who could be seen as the main way to deal extra damage in the Comboless version, as she heals on play and has a relatively cheap effect to pay 2 and discard 2 to burn 2 when she attacks. Here are some example deck lists for each version, that will be linked in the description too. And finally, let's go over the general game plan at each level of the game now that we know what cards we'll be working with. During level 0, you want to secure the copies of your level 1 Yukina by setting up your back row and most of your utility level 0s. Especially Aya and Toko or Misaki if you are playing the Chisato backup or a Maya level 1, as green and yellow are the colors you'll worry about the most. Thanks to the level 0 Yukina and Kokoro, you can beat over any threats and start digging for more of your level 0s. Mocha is a card that will almost always give you value at this point, as your opponent can try to play around her and lose an advantage, or beat her and give you more level 1 Yukinas. Depending on how your level 0 went, you might have either a decent amount of climaxes in your deck, or just a few. If you have many, then you want to go for Yukina combo as soon as possible, to start filtering your hand and selectively removing many non-climaxes from your deck to make it very compressed even though it's your first deck. If you have only a few climaxes, then focus on refreshing before going for the combo. Maya level 1 and your brainstormers can help a lot for this. With Yukina you want to search your early plays for when you get to level 2. In the combo version you only have a limited amount of early plays, but they do the job as you don't plan on staying on level 2 for long, as the main focus is to stall long enough to get your opponent in a position in which Kasumi combo can push for a lot of damage. Remember that Rinko can make your Yukina level 1 11.5 thousand power, so she can be a functional beater even at this point in the game. For the Comboless version it's a little bit different. You want to keep playing early plays and keep healing to take advantage of your compressed deck. That's why we see more early play conditions that allow you to keep healing at different points of the game. Also remember to use the Chisato refresh backup to keep yourself in a good position and avoid the refresh penalty to stay ahead. Level 3 is pretty straightforward for the most part. Kasumi combo lets you draw more cards, which can be the event or climax, so you want to set up as many as possible and go for the combo to limit the ability of your opponent to deal damage in the next turn. Kasumi still uses a lot of resources. It might be decently stock efficient, but doesn't give you extra cards in the end, so you mainly want to make sure that either you are likely to kill your opponent that turn, or the next turn with your limited resources. For the Comboless version you want to take advantage of how ahead your opponent is likely to be in damage, thanks to all the healing you are doing, to push with your burn effects that don't need climaxes. And that's all! I genuinely love this set. There are a lot of other aspects of it that I would like to cover, but I wanted to first make a video of the deck I've spent the most time testing and playing. So if you have any questions or recommendations, please let me know. See ya!